Welcome to Euros Central. That's probably not a surprise given the fact that the entire point of this channel is posting multiple videos a day talking about anything that has to do with football or soccer. And Euros is going on. The Euros is going on right now, so why would we not talk about that? But there's something from the Euros that has made me incredibly sad. It feels like I lost a relative almost. It feels like I've been robbed of some of my identity, kind of a cornerstone of me watching the international game in the first place. And there's a couple of things from this one particular match at the Euros that I do wanted to mention. But the first part, it is excruciating and it is painful. It is the fact that Spain's unbelievable possession streak is over. Now, there are certain things that you just know when you're watching the international game. Serbia, they're going to play for set pieces. France is going to have unbelievable wingers. Germany's midfield is going to be absolutely outstanding. The Italian defense is going to be fantastic. The English are never going to win anything, right? And Scotland or Ireland is going to get absolutely hammered at every Euros in the fans section. Like, there are just certain things you know. But the number one tenet when it comes to international play, like the one thing you just know is going to happen, the one thing you can always look forward to, the one thing you can always count on is Spain outpossessing its opponent. It's the only thing. It is the one thing that you can reliably count on above any other. And the reason is because they've done it for 16 straight years. 16 years. How many straight games? 136 straight competitive games. I'm talking that blowout loss to the Netherlands. I'm talking whatever the hell happened at the last World Cup. I kind of blacked out and I already don't remember. I know they beat Costa Rica by 1,000,000, but I think they lost to Japan. Well, they certainly outpossessed Japan, right? They certainly outpossessed Morocco, right? They certainly outpossessed everybody they played in the last 16 years because that's literally the stat. The last time they didn't outpossess a team was the final of the 2008 Euro. They won the 2010 World Cup. They won the 2012 Euros. And then that entire generation aged out and they sucked again. But Spain's outpossessed everybody they've played since Alvaro Morata started playing in the national team. You know how hard that is to do when he's firing balls into row Z? Nearly impossible. But they did it. And now it's over. It's over in a 3-0 win. The game is gone. Right? VAR is introduced and all of the people don't know how to work the technology. I still insisted the game was not gone. Right? We nobody can stick a proper challenge anymore, or else they get sent off. Right? VAR is reviewing all these potential red cards, and if your foot happens to skip off the top of the ball and then one stud catches somebody, you're off. I never said the game was gone. Spain doesn't outpossess their opponent. The game is gone. It's gone. It's gone. In a freaking 3-0 win against Croatia for that to happen to. Absolutely ridiculous. But it wasn't the main attraction in the match itself. There was a main attraction for me. I'm going to see if I can find it. Just a terrible penalty call, in my opinion. One of those plays that, honestly, much like the fact that now Spain has not outpossessed an opponent in this tournament, nobody likes this. Right? And nobody is a winner here. Everybody ends up looking like an idiot. So the score is already 3-0 to Spain. Okay. And then there was a penalty given to Croatia, which was one of the dumber things I've ever seen. It was the other thing in the Spain-Croatia match that I wanted to watch, which, by the way, was 3-0 and made me look like... I mean, the reason we're talking about all this other stuff is because I thought Croatia was probably going to win this game, so I ended up looking like an idiot. But in the 78th minute or whatever, Rodri is trying to make a play. He's trying to make a really stupid play. And I'll show you the play right now. He takes a swipe at this guy from behind, right? He takes a swipe at this guy from behind. Guy goes down, right? It looks like, in real time, it looks like a penalty and possibly a red card because he is kind of heading to tap it into the back of the net. And that is troublesome. Because there's that little thing in the red card dictionary about denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, and there's no clearer definition than actually having a guy that is about to kick the ball into an empty net. Like, there's no clearer definition of a denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. Sorry, my parents' cat is absolutely fascinated by my face on the screen right now. I will, hello? You're welcome for the free cat content. But I have never seen a more obvious denial of a goal scoring opportunity than this. Neither is he. He's never seen it either. The problem is when you watch the replay, I don't think Rodri touches him. I'm sorry. I don't see any contact. And really, I'd be the judge of contact here. I don't see this guy's leg move at all. Look, I don't see his leg move at all. His leg doesn't get knocked out of the way. And then he does that. Oh, my. Oh. So here's the deal, right? This guy, obviously, he realizes that Rodri's lunging in, and he decides to kick Mother Earth, which, first of all, how dare you? He plants it in Mother Earth, right, to try and draw this penalty. So, I mean, everybody looks stupid. I'm going to go through the list here. Rodri, terrible idea to go for this. He's lucky he doesn't make contact. It's a terrible idea to go for this tackle, and he should have gotten a penalty. They should have gotten a penalty and a red card. The second part of it, right, the second part of this whole equation is this guy, right, number 17 on Croatia, is Bruno Petkovic, big striker on their team, supposed to be a big meaty lad that's in the mixer up top, a classic number 9. At least that's how I've always known him, but now I will always remember him for a horrendous flop. Because the other part of this is if you aren't getting kicked, and clearly he's not being contacted enough to be forced to do this, right? He is not being contacted hard enough to be forced to kick the ground. You can see the fact that that's not happening, and he basically just chooses to kick the ground. Here's the goalkeeper. He can just put the ball in the net. I mean, I know it's 3-0, and maybe the only argument, and I doubt you're doing this kind of calculus in your mind in this split second, is that down 3-0, you'd prefer a red card and a penalty, because then you would have the opportunity to maybe come back from down 3-0. But this is just such a horrendous flop. I mean, the goal is wide open right in front of you. You absolutely can just tap this into the back of the net and keep moving. So Rodri's embarrassed because he's making a bad decision and he's making a terrible play. Bruno Petkovic is embarrassed because it's like this is the Ballon de Flop of the year. Just so terrible. Awful flop. And then VAR is embarrassed. But let me tell you why. Because this is always the wrong decision, what they did, which is penalty, no card. Penalty, no red card. Right? Penalty, no red card makes absolutely no sense. Because there's one of two things that happens here. Right? If we've got the ref and we've got VAR. Let me lay this out for you because apparently they just don't understand this. Either you don't think he got touched, he flopped and he gets a yellow. Right? Which is honestly kind of what I think happened. Now, Rodri was still being an idiot, but I think he flopped. So this is a ridiculous flop. Right? You'd see how ridiculous of a flop this is. Right? So either you look at it, it's simulation, you give the guy a yellow, no penalty, we move on. Or the only other option is Rodri did touch him. We have another angle that I haven't seen that shows that he touched him. Right? Enough to put him off. Right? I'm not talking about he breathed on him, but he touched him enough to put him off. Right? And then in that case, this is a red. If you're going to call this a foul, it has to be a red card. Because the goalkeeper's in Narnia, right? The goal is wide open. And so that you either have a red card and a penalty or simulation. There is no world where any version of this play and however you see this version of this play, there is no world where it's just a penalty and not a red card. That shouldn't be possible, but this is concerning. Now, you'd be glad that this happened in a match that was already 3-0, because if it didn't, it would be a much bigger controversy. Because anytime you've got both players and the referee and the VAR room all being idiots, it's going to get really complex really fast. We'll talk about the other matches in the other video, but honestly, I love a good Floposaurus Rex. How was I going to resist this? And I wasn't even supposed to talk about the possession in this video. I'm just really sad about it.